Now, Final Score with Nick Walters on Fox 16.
Happy New Year and happy holidays, everybody. I'm Nick Walters, and welcome into a New Year's Day edition of Final Score. Now, before flipping the calendar, there was a date circled by the Razorbacks. On Wednesday night, Arkansas and Kansas would give the world one of the more thrilling bowl games in recent history. Now, when it was all said and done, the Hogs got to ring in 2023 by ringing that bell, winning the Liberty Bowl in triple overtime by a score of 55-53. But for fans watching in Memphis or from home, it wasn't always the most wonderful time of year. Between opt-outs and blown leads, it was no easy task for Arkansas to win a bowl game for the second straight year. Now, in tonight's show, we'll break down how the Hogs weathered the storm and hear what it means for the program. But we start off by rewinding that tape. At Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, it's Woo Pig versus Rock Chalk, the Hogs and Jayhawks playing for the first time in over a century. The Razorbacks lose Rocket Sanders early, but KJ Jefferson is close to home and ready to deliver. KJ sails it overhead to a wide-open Matt Landers for the touchdown. Hogs up 10-7. Ensuing kickoff, and the return is muffed. Razorbacks back in business. KJ now has two fakes this time, and the misdirection has Ty Washington, the true freshman's first score on the year. It's a 14-point swing over just 3 plays in 18 seconds. Jayhawks try to get going, but Quincy McAdoo takes it away. The Clarendon native on the pick. That leads to KJ making a man miss and diving past the plane. Hogs put up 24 in the first, the most ever in a single quarter at the Liberty Bowl. Next frame, and the Hogs don't slow down now. AJ Green has blocks and takes the edge, making it 28 unanswered points. Arkansas leads 31-7. Now fast forward to midway through the third, the freshman Rashad Dubinion reaches the ball past the plane. Hogs absolutely in command, up 38-13. But right when you think it's over, we have drama. In a perfect storm of unfortunate events, Kansas rallies and Arkansas blows that 25-point lead. A controversial Matt Landers fumble leads to a Kansas strike with 1 minute left. Jayhawks recover an onside kick, and down 8, Kansas completes the comeback. A touchdown and a 2-pointer lets Kansas force overtime, tied at 38. Jalen Daniels and the Jayhawks with all the momentum in the world. In OT, they're first on the board. But without a pulse since the third, a revived Razorbacks offense answers. Dubinion plunging that in. Tied at 45 and on to double OT, Arkansas is first to find pay dirt. KJ Jefferson rolling in, channeling his inner Rose Bowl Vince Young. And on the 2-point conversion, they get gutsy, making it 53-45 Hogs. But as you'd expect, Kansas answers with a touchdown of their own and on a game-tying 2-point attempt. The Hogs make what looks like a massive stop, but it's called back due to a questionable targeting penalty on McAdoo. Jayhawks take advantage and get it into the end zone. So on to triple overtime in Memphis. Now only 2-point tries. Jefferson lets it fly and connects with Dubinion. Advantage Hogs. Now Jayhawks need to respond. Getting tricky with the reverse pass, and the Hogs come up with the game-winning stop. The nail-biter ends. Arkansas takes the Liberty Bowl 55-53, finishing with a winning record of 7-6 and as bowl champs for another year. Okay, we all needed a breather after that one. Over 100 points on the scoreboard, multiple records broken, but most importantly for Arkansas, a dub, and one that Sam Pittman says is up there with his signature wins in his time on the Hill.
There's been some really great wins since we've been able to be here. You know, we've beaten 6 top 25 teams and won a couple of bowls and been eligible and all that kind of stuff. This one was as gratifying as any of them because a lot of guys didn't play. We were down numbers. But the ones we had out there wanted to win, and they practiced hard. And so this is as much a gratifying win as a head coach as I've had since I've been here.
It was a tumultuous 6 years, but going out as Liberty Bowl champs, going out the right way, you know, we finished winning record 7-6, you know, it means something. And the future for this team's bright. We get these young guys to step into the culture like they've been doing. Coach Pitt's got the coaching staff here to do this, and I can't wait for the future of this program. And I'm happy I finished my days as a Hog, and I'm even more happy I finished out just the way I needed to. Played in the bowl game, finished it out the right way.
All right, the Liberty Bowl was 4 days ago, and I think fans are still dizzy from the roller coaster that it was. Win probabilities were all over the place for both Arkansas and Kansas through overtime. Many witnessing the Jayhawks' furious comeback didn't think a win was in the cards for the Hogs. Arkansas hadn't scored since 8 minutes left in the third, and when Kansas needed to make a play, well, they made it. The Jayhawks had taken a stranglehold on momentum, and it seemed like everything went their way. But the Razorbacks regrouped and were revived against the odds, coming out on top when it mattered most. Now looking back, not even Sam Pittman is certain how the Hogs outlasted Kansas. But hey, he's sure glad they did.
I'm exhausted. I never played a snap and I'm just beat up, you know. Usually when this happens and a team comes back and they tie it at the end of the game, usually the momentum's so severe that the team that was ahead all the time loses. What a game, what a crowd. Champions, 2 bowls in a row now. I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of our team that, you know, a lot of teams in the SEC in the past have not played well in these games when they lose players. They haven't played very good. And we did. And I'm proud to be a winner tonight.
The main thing was just being composed on the sideline. We had guys stepping up in leadership roles, being vocal, making sure everybody on the sideline just being able to have even mindset, just playing next play, next play. And then for the offensive side of the ball in overtime, I mean, we caught it up and we just said that we wanted to win the game. We wanted it more than them, so we just went out there and put our best foot forward and took advantage of the opportunity.
It was really like we wanted more, like they were saying. We had to go out there and fulfill big shoes. You know, and when it got to the end of regulation, we just all came together and was like, you know, we the better team. We just got to fight, and that's what we went out there and did. After that stop and we got the flag and things like that, I just told the defense we got to keep composed, we got to keep playing, and that's what they did. I'm extremely proud of them, especially guys like Nudie, Dwight, Jordan Crook, and players like that. You know, they stepped up big time when we needed them to, and I just can't express enough how proud I am.
You're watching Final Score on Fox 16.
Liberty Bowl really was a microcosm of the Razorback season. Ups and downs, no shortage of adversity, tables turning and scripts flipped. In some respects, Arkansas was a letdown this year relative to expectations, once ranked in the top 10. But of course, injuries didn't help. But hey, just like they did habitually in 2022, in the Liberty Bowl, they offered a silver lining. What at first seemed like a dream for Hog fans quickly became a nightmare. Kansas made an unthinkable comeback, but the Razorbacks would persevere. After taking a 25-point lead in the third, Arkansas went south quick, and despite controversial officiating, the Hogs win a triple overtime battle. It was the kind of game that makes fans appreciate the fact that KJ Jefferson elected to come back next season. The Liberty Bowl MVP is a big reason why the Hogs jumped out to a big lead in the first place. KJ enjoyed a career night, leading Arkansas with a $130 on the ground, combining for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, not to mention clutch plays for 2-point conversions in overtime. But Sam Pittman says Jefferson's biggest impact on the game can't be found on the stat sheet.
I think what he did better than anything tonight was he led the football team. I mean, he was very vocal. I think when you're playing well, I think it's easier to be vocal as well. You know what I mean? I think it's easier to, because you're feeling better. You're this, that, and other. But his leadership was outstanding, and his toughness was outstanding.
I just feel like I just want to be able to put my teammates in the best position to win. So, I mean, without sacrificing my body, anything, I just want to make sure that we got the victory for them and just be able to tell a story. I mean, just knowing that we played in the Liberty Bowl and came out victorious, so just adding it to my resume, just being able to tell a story. So I just want to be able to put my teammates and my team in the best position to win.
KJ played a heck of a game tonight, and I told him after the game he played his butt off. And the last 2 years have been 3 years really have been so much fun playing with him. He's got a confidence and swagger to him, and I think he showed it out there today. And you know, there's one play we were running the overtime. We were running one of our GT counters, and I felt him just pushing me in the back, and I was like, oh, I got to get on my horse here. And right away, I knew if I can get that block, he'd be scoring. And so, you know, KJ's an awesome leader out there. He's always calm, you know, he's always cool and collected. And, you know, most importantly, you know, he trusts us, you know, and that's a big thing between O-line and a quarterback. And I wish we could have cleaned up some protections a little better, especially me personally, but, man, we ran that ball.
So if Arkansas wasn't already missing enough pieces offensively, without 3 of their top wideouts, Rocket Sanders and Tykees Crawford left the game early. With other true freshmen playing key roles, injuries thrust 2 more into the spotlight. Rashad Dubinion suddenly led the backfield, and Joe T. Robinson product of Marion Harris filled in at right guard, each basically starting the game. Harris held his own, and Rashad put the dub in Dubinion. The Georgia native rolled for 100-plus yards and 2 touchdowns, catching another score on the final 2-point conversion. Along with KJ and AJ Green, Dubinion helped the Hogs rush for 396 yards, a new program record in a bowl game. When Rocket was knocked out and when Kansas came back, Dubinion knew he had to grow up fast.
Once 5 went down, I had to step up. And that's what I did.
Dub stepped up in a big way. You know, I hate to use that phrase because he's been practicing really hard. He's been doing, and even when he's in the game, he runs really hard. So I hate to use the phrase step up, but he did an excellent job tonight. He trusted us. He was patient on his cuts. You know, he pressed some situations so we can get to blocks and make it better for us. He took care of us the way we needed to take care of him too. And, you know, he was out there playing like a veteran, and the future's very bright for him.
R-Dub's, you know, a good player. We knew it. He just happened to be behind a couple of good players as well, you know. But we talked about it after the game, to be honest with you, Bob, about how disappointing it is when you don't play. But then the feeling when you do get to play and you have success really overrides all those disappointments. It really does, because now you've proven you can play. You've proven the game. Jaden was that way tonight. Bryce, you know, a lot of them. It wasn't, we never one time want to say, well, we don't have. We were just happy of who we did have. Now, I'm not happy we lost Rocket early and Tyke East, you know. But I am happy that Marion Harris was ready to play and R-Dub was ready to play.
So that's how the season comes to a close. And as Sam Pittman called it in pregame pressers, the win feels like damage control, finishing the year over 500 and without an implosion. And for the last time until next fall, proud Hog calls could ring out before we could all ring in the new year. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching Final Score on Fox 16.